Get educated, then you get a good job, you'll be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are living the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately, wonderfulness does not cure the underdevelopment challenge. We have equated having things with being, so that those who have things are considered more human beings.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Sisi vile vile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimpata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
We've been telling young people, go to school, get educated, then you get a good job, you'll be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are living the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately,
good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candid Talk, open forum political discussion show, the show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development in our politics. Well, a lot is happening so fast, and therefore everyone must work hard to stay on the cutting edge as far as making sense of our politics is concerned, and therefore also easing a life for the masses. Well, we will be shortly looking at the shocking figures coming from none other than the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Wetangula, on the state of the next parliament based on the performance of this parliament. And according to Speaker Wetangula, over 56% of the people currently in parliament are not coming back. Kenyans are fed up, and they are saying this one is non-negotiable. So the irreducible minimum, over 50% of members of parliament are not coming back based on that statistics. And that is the basis of our debate tonight is, are Kenyans able to make that happen? Has that ever happened in the history of our parliament? And if that's the case, what does it speak of us as a society? And then, of course, what position must we take in order to ensure that we get viable leadership? Are Kenyans angry with the current parliament? Definitely they are. and some of the things that are coming from parliament are, I could call, self-inflicted uh, curse by reason of the misbehavior of our members of parliament when it comes to speaking for Mwananchi. And that has not been something that our members of parliament take serious. And it has what informs that or what makes that happen, and therefore I would that we ventilate on the same. From where I sit, the members of parliament have a sense of entitlement. They are servants when they are looking for votes, but as soon as they get voted, they become bosses, they become waheshimiwa, honorable members, and therefore they should be worshipped, they should be sung for, they should be praised, they should be, and that is the controversy that surrounds our members of parliament. When do they transist from being the servant of the people to the boss of the people, from being the servant of the people to the commanders of the people? And so until we get that well defined, I don't see us making much change. But punishing members of parliament for their misbehavior in the ballot box, that has happened and it will continue to happen. And therefore, if you are a member of parliament and you have not worked hard in securing your trust from the masses, you are going home. You better pack your bags and understand that Kenyans and their tolerance is not everlasting. They will forgive you today, but tomorrow they will punish you. Well, that is the state of affairs in our world. And of course, it goes without saying that we have lost one of the giant uh, in politics in our nation, the late Raila Amolo Odinga. And some of the members of parliament are in parliament courtesy of Raila Odinga's support. Now that he's no more, will they make it? That even complicates the whole of the mathematics of ensuring that somebody wins the seat, especially the members of parliament that capitalized on the goodwill of Raila Odinga and his love, or rather his influence on the masses. And then, of course, in capitalizing on that influence, they forgot to build their own, their own base and their own support. So that even if they are introduced to politics by Raila Odinga, it will not always be Raila Odinga that makes them electable. And now, if they failed to do their homework well, then home is calling. Home is calling so fast, and better begin to prepare, because I think we need to sweep, like the young people are saying, we need to drain the swamp. And I think elections should offer us that excellent opportunity to drain the swamp, so that we can have a country that we can be proud of, by having proper representation in the parliament, not people that get into parliament and forget the purpose for which they went to parliament, and they begin to sing a hallelujah chorus to the executive, especially when the executive is crossing the line in mistreating the masses. One thing that makes politics attractive is your ability to speak for the masses, stand by the masses, especially when the government turns their back against them. Now, when you are a member of parliament and all you see is your government, your political party, and not the interest of the masses, you're on your way, you are out. Even if you are the parliament itself, you are on your way out. And Kenyans, I would encourage us not to be tolerant anymore on this matter, because there is no need for you to be seeking an elective seat, get into parliament, and when you get there, you forget the people that placed you there. And one such place is a controversial debate that has been started by one former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, on the state of schooling in Northeastern. We'll be featuring some of the videos of the state of the school one school in particular in Northeastern, and I tell you the situation is pathetic. And compare it with the kind of lifestyle that members of parliament from that part of the world are having in the city of Nairobi and elsewhere. It is heartbreaking that somebody can refer themselves as members of parliament, yet they are doing zero in terms of uplifting the lifestyle of the people that come from their region. And so if the people that come from your region are not a priority to you, then you are in the wrong vocation. You are in the wrong assignment. You can't be a, you can't be the person that we are looking for in terms of helping us rise to the occasion and do what must be done. Well, let's start with that particular video of, let me see where it is, of the members of parliament that are on their way out, no matter how we look at the whole scenario. Well, let me see. Where is this? There is some mix-up somewhere. Here we go. Let's get this one on education first as we search for the other video.
Now, despite the government insisting that 92% of grade 10 pupils are already enrolled, there is still a considerable number of the learners still at home. National government administration officers have been compelled to conduct mop-up operations to ensure compliance with the 100% transition policy. In Machakos County, one chief has taken the directive to heart, personally ensuring that no child is left behind. NTV's Electino Dera reports on how the government is moving beyond policy to action in ensuring learners are now enrolled.
In voter location deep in Machakos County, the government's push for 100% transition from junior to senior secondary school has come face to face with harsh economic reality. Determined to ensure compliance with government 100% transition policy, Mikuyu Sub-Chief Peter Ngovo has been moving door to door, tracing grade 10 learners who failed to report to school weeks after the academic year began. 7 learners were Monday admitted to Voter Senior School following the mop-up exercise led by the sub-chief and village elders.
Kumekuwa na changamoto ya wanafunzi kutransit ama kutoka grade 9 hadi grade 10 kwa sababu ya changamoto kwamba hakukunyesha na kumekuwa na shida ya fedha na hasa chakula na njaa. Kwa hivyo watoto wengi wamekuwa wapati chakula cha kila siku. That is the basic need ya chakula cha jioni asubuhi.
Marafiki wetu washaenda shule, sisi tuko huku tu nyumbani tunaumia. Kini unapatana na wanakuuliza utaenda lini, tunawaambia utakuja tu.
Most of the children come from extremely humble backgrounds. Some are being raised by single parents, while others could only afford uniforms, but no transport, bedding, or other basic school requirements.
Nilikuwa nimeitwa nikang'oe nini, nilikuwa naenda kung'oa kuni tu huko, lakini siwezi. Najua mimi ni operation watoto wangu wote, lakini nilikuwa naenda kung'ang'ana tu, sikuishe nipate chenye nitapata tu.
Kuinji unakaa kuinji watoto wakiwa shule, unapata una stress watoto wakisoma, wewe hauendi shule, huna kitu ya kufanya. Unapata tu unakaa tu huku tu.
At nearby market centers, parents admit they are hopeful but helpless. Government statistics show that while 92% of grade 10 learners are already in school, the remaining 8%, mostly from marginalized and low-income households, are the hardest to reach. Ironically, even as some children remain home, several schools across the country are yet to receive a single grade 10 learner, raising questions about planning, capacity and equity in the rollout of the competency-based curriculum.
Nimepata wazazi ambao kidogo wanajiweza, lakini hawakuwa wanaona umuhimu wa kupeleka watoto shule, na wazazi ni kama 3. Lakini baada ya kuwahimiza na kuwaongelesha, wamekubali na wakatikia huo mwito.
Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba has acknowledged the challenge.
C4 schools or any other school where students have not selected with those few numbers. Once we have the data, we would be able now to make a decision where to move those students to, and then deal with those schools that have no learners. Obviously, it means that a school that does not have grade 10 also does not have Form 2. Because this year, remember, we don't have Form 2. That means they only have Form 3 and Form 4. So we'll work together with TSC to rationalize that space, and we are doing the analysis. We've extended the final week for enrollment is this week. Once we have the final data, we'll sit down as a ministry, as a government, make a decision about those schools, but you can well see what will happen to those schools.
As the government races to account for every child, the question remains, will mop-up exercises be enough to bridge the gap between national statistics and the lived reality of every poor Kenyan household? Electin Odera, NTV, Machakos County.
Okay, there you have it, the state of grade 10 students, and they are reporting in different various schools. One of the disheartening reality of that reporting or that report is that aspect where the Minister of Education, on national television says schools that did not receive any of the students, they were using this as a measuring avenue to tell if they don't have any school, then they will be adjusted and wherever aligned with other maybe other counties or other regions that are having students more in school than the classes available. But my bone of contention is one. Grade 10, that is a child was in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, all the way to 10. You want to tell me that there's a Ministry of Education, by the time these children are going to grade 10, you are not aware how many they are, where they live, and what is proximity to where which school is near their home or not. And if that is the case, are we still running education in this country? And so this explanation is it annoys me, to say the least. It annoys me because people that are charged with the responsibility of the future of this country are not taking it as a serious matter. And this is one thing that Kenyans should not take it easily, by reason of when it comes to the future of this country, we seem to be toying with it. And one of the things that has gone very bad with us as a society is that when we monetize everything, we think everything is about making the money and getting the money, other than building the children or building the people for the future. And so we have turned education a cash cow. We have turned healthcare a cash cow. We have turned even security a cash cow. And in the process, the end is you make the money, but not make the people, not build the people, not train the students. And so we're having people who have gone through school, but school has not gone through them. And all of it is because the handlers of education are lazy. Because this Minister for Education is lazy. Is lazy. How do you have children in your hands for 10, from grade 1 to grade 10, and you are telling us you don't know where to place them? You opened so that they go, and if they miss school, they will come back, and then you will arrange where they can go. Such things should warrant a minister to resign or be kicked out of office. This is not what Magoha was doing under Uhuru Kenyatta. This is not what Matiang'i was doing under Uhuru Kenyatta. And the Kenyans with your tolerance, tuache mchezo. Kama ikifika masuala ya wanafunzi tusicheze nayo, ikifika masuala ya afya tusicheze nayo. Mojawapo ya shida zetu ni kutetea wanasiasa wakati wanakosea, badala ya kusimama kuambia mmekosea. Kuna wale ambao wanajikimbiza kwa kona yao kuanza kuwatetea kijinga. Wakati umefika tuambiane ukweli, na ukweli ni kwamba what is being done as far as education is concerned is very, very heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking in view of the kind of future we wish to have for our children and with this nation. Because if you're not investing in education, investing not just in terms of money, because we have a president who is good in throwing out figures. I put 2 billion for education, 2 billion for new teachers, another 2 billion for what they throw around figures. I'm talking about investing in proper education, quality education that is exhibited by the kind of people that walk out of our education institution. Quality of education is not determined by how much is put in the budget. It's not determined by how many teachers are hired. It's determined by how many, what is the state of the people that have gone through that education system. When we had an episode yesterday, we were talking about that grade 6 children cannot handle grade 3 mathematics problem. Now, is that what you're calling education? That somebody is in grade 6 but cannot do cannot solve a mathematics problem of grade 3. So this issue on education, Kenyans, let's not play with it. It's a game that we should not allow to take place. And so no matter where you are, no matter how you look at it, this is where the rubber meets the road, because the future doesn't look good when we have half-baked people coming from our institution of learning. People who can't write, they can't read, they can't construct an English sentence, they can't hold a serious conversation. And I mean, we need to have not better papers, we need to have better brains, better character, better capacity to articulate issues. But this one that the minister comes and says he has allowed them to go and miss school, and then when they come back, he will find school for them. Tutoe mchezo kwa kazi, haswa ikifika kwa masuala ya masomo ya wanafunzi. Kama huwezi kazi, jiusulu mapema, wacha kutusumbua. Na kama wewe ni mzembe, na hii ni uzembe, kwa sababu hakuna vile utakana watoto for 10 years, 10 full years, na ujui watoto wanatoka wapi, ujui shule hiyo karibu ya nao ni gani, ujui watafika. 10 years. And we have a ministry constantly, Ministry for Education. That ministry is never changed. It never changes the name. We only change ministers. So it means the technocrats, the PS and the other players are permanently there. And the records about the registration of the kids since the Uhuru administration, the kids' number of admission becomes their number consistently everywhere. So how can they be having a consistent number in a consistent school, and through that number you can trace the child, and you tell us that mtoto alifanya mtihani Kajiado, ameitwa kwenda Kabras kwa grade 10, na hiyo shule ameitwa ni day school. So unataka atoke Kajiado afike Kabras sangapi? Well, thank you. Let me not get worked up. It's late, but let's do as much as we can. Let's get back to that story of 56% of members of parliament wanakwenda nyumbani kulingana na hii orodha imepeanwa na spika wa bunge mwenyewe Bwana Wetangula.
More than half of the current members of parliament may not be re-elected to their offices in next year's general election. This is according to the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, who attributed his observations to a report. Speaking in Naivasha, Nakuru County, during a National Assembly retreat, Wetangula called on the MPs to prepare for life after Parliament as preparations for the 2027 general election get underway.
In his address to members of the National Assembly who are attending the 2026 legislative retreat in Naivasha, Nakuru County, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, disclosed a damning report on the re-election rate in Kenyan elections, revealing that more than half of the members do not make it back to the House after every election cycle.
Yesterday I was chairing a committee on pensions, and an actuarial report shows that on the average, our attrition rate is 56%. So as we sit here, at least 56% will not see the inside of Parliament next Parliament.
This means that out of the 349 serving members of the National Assembly, 195 of them may not make it back after the August 10th, 2027 general election as the voter moves in to root out non-performing representatives.
And we want to make sure that there must be life and good life after you leave Parliament so that you can be covered health-wise. We have had 4 pension amendment bills. We want to encourage you to give it priority.
This coming as the House promised to keep the executive in check to ensure it delivers on promises made to Kenyans so far.
As a House, we must be there to offer meaningful oversight, ensure that whatever monies come from the privatization process are utilized in a manner that creates impact for our people.
You know the sun is really hot out there, so when you bring us here, at least we cool the tempers just before we can start off the work of the year.
The details emerged as the dash to the August 2027 general election continues to gather pace, with the Register of Political Parties saying 32 political parties had been provisionally registered ahead of the polls. As members of the National Assembly prepare to get back to business after a 2-month recess, the work ahead of them is Herculean, as members of Parliament now prepare for oversight legislation and representation, even as time ticks towards next year's general election. Emmanuel To, Citizen TV, Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County.
More than half.
Okay, there you have it. 56% of members of parliament may not see the inside of parliament after after the general election. Now, what is about that, what is stunning about that particular statistics, not that they are not coming back or Kenyans may not vote them back. It is the attitude and the mindset of the Speaker of the National Assembly. He says he wants to secure these people so that they have a comfortable, better life in terms of their pension after they are no longer electable. Now, without prejudicing against any of these people, should we be concerned about people that cannot be elected or the citizens that are supposed to elect them? I mean, if somebody slept on his job and now he's been fired, should we now be so much caught up into securing him after he's been fired that he will have a comfortable life? Should that be the factor of consideration here? As much as it is okay to take care of them after they are retired or they are no longer active in politics. To me, Wetangula is bribing them, number one, or rather he's securing them so that it becomes normal. Go to parliament, sleep all through, don't say anything, don't do anything. But as long as you have won that pension, you are okay. You're going to live comfortably thereafter. One, we are now making, instead of us being representatives of the people, we are looking for how to get pension. When you're growing up as kids, there was this aspect of job security. And everybody wanted to be an employee of government because when you're an employee of government, you have job security. And, even when you retire, you will be taken care of. And so everybody wanted that. And from what I hear from Wetangula, he's making it to be the main thing, that just go to parliament, ensure that you get to that list of the people that are pensioned, and you will live happily thereafter, even if you don't work. And to me, I suggest that we need to review those kind of clauses in the Constitution, that we don't punish you for missing to perform while you're a member of parliament and reward you at the same time. Because this is taxpayers' money that you are entitling on somebody to use it for life even when he's not serving the people. And so something needs to be done here. We should reduce this into an allowance or something like that. But, committing the country to take care of people that are not active in the service of the people for life, having served only 2 terms in parliament, something needs to be done. My only problem is that the very people that are supposed to review this are the beneficiary of the same, and so they are they will not adjudicate on the matter rightly because they are interested. But and that's one thing that we have to kind of ensure that happens, because we will not have good legislation if the interested party are legislating about themselves. So issues about remuneration needs to be looked at so that we don't have the same people who we've hired are the ones who sit and decide how much they are being paid. And that's why I still advocate in support of Okiya Omtata. There has to be a separation of the executive and the treasury, and of course, parliament and salaries. The aspect of that parliamentarians are the ones that decide how much they are paid. And if the salary and remuneration commission comes up with anything different that they don't like, they shoot it down. That is part of our making. And so I think I will advise that in the future, we should look out on how to separate these entities, separate completely, so that a member of parliament goes to parliament courtesy of being hired by the Kenyan people, and the Kenyan people should decide how much they pay their employee. And if the employee doesn't like the salary, let him find another employment. But the lay-back attitude of letting people decide how much they are paid, and then they go to sleep there, do nothing for 5 years, and then if they survive, or rather they get re-elected, they serve 2 terms, they're entitled to pension for life. And even that pension, Wetangula wants it to be so huge and so comfortable that these people will not miss the work because their pension is as good as a salary. That's part of the inequality in our country. There are people's pension is now I'm sure this is going to bring problems, but there are people's pension that is more than people's salaries, other people's salaries, and that's what I wonder. Okay, just to without any prejudice. Right now, the former president, retired President Uhuru Kenyatta, I think he's even earning more than the current president in terms of his pension, allowances, and all other, services that are being given to him by the state. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be given those services. I'm simply saying, are we being fair? Okay, are we being fair that this person is not active in the office, but what he's receiving in terms of pension and settlement and allowances is more than the CEO of the banks, is more than the CSs and the other players. It doesn't add up. And so what makes you be out of work? Because if you're earning more without working, there's no need of working in the first place. And so this entire remuneration issue needs to be looked at widely as Kenyans. Because the more we are crying and complaining about the economy and not having enough resources, the wastefulness of our resources in terms of money getting into wrong hands and being used for wrong purposes, it causes more losses than even, the scarcity of the resources. Because if we stopped the looting and stopped the misuse and wastage, I'm sure we'll be able to take care of education, and healthcare. At least those two primary, services that any government anywhere on earth should not fail in education and healthcare. So these wastages of looking for people on how to get paid permanently, they are not active in service. No. Let them be given some allowance to keep them alive, but not to be given somebody is paid as much as 2 million, as much as 3 million, as much as 1.5 every month for the rest of his life. Then it is good. I mean, hakuna haja ya kufanya kazi. We jitahidi tu enda bunge mara mbili, na ukisha kuwa mbunge mara mbili utapata hiyo pension, na hiyo pension itakuwa milele, na itakuwa inazidi mshahara wa principal wa shule, inazidi mshahara wa CEO wa bank, inazidi mshahara wa CS education and all that. I mean, this is crazy. Kwani kuna hela mingi tu mpaka tunapatia wale watu wanaenda kustaafu hela nyingi tu waishi vile wanavyopenda. Najua watanipiga mawe baada hii, lakini ni muhimu tuanze kujihoji. Lakini tutapona tu wakati tutatoa treasury kwa executive. Hiyo inamaanisha kwamba treasury should be independent completely. That executive ikitaka hela inaandika barua and explain why it needs that money. Judiciary the same. Legislature the same. Lakini the executive is the one that is dividing the money from treasury and distributing it around. That's why corruption cannot end, and see how much wastage is taking place, especially with the current administration. Well, and so I would that Kenyans should be ruthless when it comes to this particular action that we are sanctioning those that may have not performed so well, and therefore they need to be kicked out. Well, one such member of parliament is I could call him the old man. The former Meru governor, Kiraitu Murungi. He has hanged up the boots in terms of he's no longer pursuing active politics. Naenda kupumzika, I mean, ameachana na siasa. Let's just hear what he said on the same.
Na basi mtazamaji, tukiachana na hayo ughaibuni, ni kwamba aliyekuwa gavana wa Meru Kiraitu Murungi amestaafu katika siasa na kumaliza safari yake ya siasa ambayo imedumu kwa zaidi ya miaka 30. Akizungumza baada ya kutunukiwa cheti cha uzamifu katika chuo kikuu cha Laikipia kwa kutambua juhudi zake katika utumishi wa umma, Kiraitu anasema kuwa ni wakati umefika wa kuondoka katika mapambano ya siasa. Kiraitu aliingia bungeni mara ya kwanza mwaka 1992 akitumia chama cha Ford Kenya. Anakumbukwa kwa wanaharakati kabla ya mfumo wa vyama vingi vya siasa na kupigania demokrasia hiyo. Alikuwa mbunge wa Imenti Kusini kwa mihula 4 kabla ya kuwa seneta wa Meru mwaka 2013 na gavana mwaka 2017. Kadhalika alikuwa waziri wa sheria katika utawala wa Rais Mwai Kibaki na vilevile waziri wa kawi. Alishindwa katika uchaguzi mkuu mwaka 2022 na Kawira Mwangaza katika kaunti hiyo ya Meru.
My mind. But now I'm in low temperature politics, and I find this intriguing and as interesting. Yeah, so even if you don't see me now singing on top of drugs and all that, yeah, I'm still thinking about democracy.
Even though he lost the elections for 2022, the people who are the losers are not him. It is the people of Meru. Now they keep coming to tell him, oh, we miss you. Ile kabla ulituwekea tu ndio tunaona. Only those bows you left which are there. So you tell them you made your choice.
Na basi mtazamaji, tukiachana na hayo ughaibuni, ni kwamba aliyekuwa gavana wa Meru Kiraitu Murungi.
Okay, there you have it. Kiraitu Murungi, no more active politics. He's surrendered And then, of course, there is the outcry about uh, voters voting in the wrong person or perceived wrong person and then complain thereafter. And that is why we are inviting your participation into ensuring that you are actively involved in shaping the kind of leadership that you are charging with responsibility. The attitude of Kenyans in letting others elect somebody and then you complain about their inability to perform, that should end. As mature, responsible citizens, we must take charge when it comes to who we give the responsibility to lead our county, lead our country, and lead even our political party. This layback attitude is not helping. And of course, Kraitu by now should be running a political school where he's mentoring young politicians and giving them direction because he's a wealth of insights, wealth of experience that needs to be handed over to the next generation. Kraitu and Kraitu Orengo, late Raila Odinga, Geresi Kitobu Imanyara, those were the champion of the second liberation in terms of being young, tax, energetic, and were able to run around when Kina Jaramogi were aging and Masinde Muliro and the other champions of the second liberation. These were the foot soldiers. These were the people that, you know, worked everything to see to it that whatever decisions are taken by Kina Jaramogi and the wherever the elderly class are implemented. Without Kina Kiraitu and Raila and Kitobu Imanyara, those young tax, we may not have even attained that second liberation. And of course, the new constitution and the reforms that we have realized so far, it's courtesy of such people. And now, even if he's exiting the scene in terms of being involved in active politics, I would that he provides wherever an environment where young people can learn from them. And of course, I'm happy that Laikipia University is the one acknowledging his input into public service. Those are places where they should bank and, of course, harness this kind of wealth of experience, wisdom, and understanding of Kenyan politics. And so Kiraitu should not go retire and look after goats and sheep. He should be engaged into ensuring that he imparts whatever he has in those universities, in those whatever learning institutions. And so he may not be as strong as he used to be, but his brain is still brilliant and wherever active. Let him be put to use. So remember, what you don't use, you lose. And so we should not lose the wealth of the elderly in our midst simply because we are ignoring them or probably want to get rid of them. And so even when the statistics say that 56% of members of parliament are not coming back, even if they are away, if they have anything that is worthwhile, let that thing not be lost because they are away. And so our political decisions need to be made in the light of all these realities. Let us be a people that are serious about their country. I will say this every day on this channel and elsewhere. Let's be serious about this country. At times, I feel like we are jokers as far as this country is concerned. And one clergy, PCA Banana Parish, seems to be sharing my, or rather saying amen to what I am saying. By the way, he addressed the congregation and warned them that if indeed this regime has not done what it's supposed to do or has done the unforgivable, he's watching to see who is going to re-elect the regime. let's just hear him out and then, of course, pick up from there in a short while. Thank you.
Waji katika nchi yetu nitakuwa nikiwaangalia kwamba mtu anaweza kuua watoto wenyu na mmrudishe kwa serikali tena. Mimi nawaangalia, I'm checking you. Ninawaangalia. Mimi nawaangalia because you are divinely positioned ukiwa na kura yako. Na mtu yoyote ambaye ako hapa na hana kura, patia Holy Communion. Amen. Because it is only your vote that can vote in someone and vote the other one out. You are divinely positioned for this country. Nchi hii itaongozwa vile nyinyi mnataka, sio vile viongozi wanataka. Kuna tofauti ya ng'ombe na mkia. Ng'ombe ndio inayozungusha mkia. Mkia hauzungushi ng'ombe. Nchi hii yetu ya Kenya, wa viongozi wetu ni mkia. Sisi ndio nini? Ng'ombe yote. Lakini tumezoea kuzungushwa hivi na sisi ndio ng'ombe. Sababu sisi tumeamua kuwa watu ambao hawajui you are divinely positioned. Na mimi nangoja, kura yangu iko tayari. And you better lose your vote than lose your conscience. Afadhali nitupe kama last time wakati mlichagua Ruto, kura yangu ilipotea. Ilifanya nini? Lakini mimi huwachekelea sana mliomchagua nyinyi. Sababu ya vile mmeumia. Afadhali kura ifanye nini? Ipotee kuliko uweke mtu kwa ushukani ambaye ataharibu nchi hii ama constituency hii. Mnanisikia? You are divinely positioned. Can I hear an amen? Kila mtu ameitwa na Mungu na amewekwa wakfu kwa kazi ambayo Mungu amepatia.
Okay, there you have it, a clergy from PCA Banana Parish. Nasema ni ng'ombe inazungusha mkia, sio mkia inazungusha ng'ombe. I share his sentiments in terms of us putting some thought in the kind of people we vote in and allow to lead us. Let us not be, take lightly that voting. That voting is one of the major rights that we have as a people, and the controller of everything that we will ever be, whatever, a control of everything that we will ever wish to actualize. If we went to an election and the election is indeed free and fair, the vote is a powerful tool in the hand of every voter. So when we remove all these other manipulations and the rigging process and all that, you become a very powerful person because you are a voter. And if there is anything that we are going to be keen with in 2027 is to remove that element of people voting this way and the election officials announce the result the other way. That must not happen again, ever again in the history of this great country. And so are you comfortable by re-electing a regime that has failed? Are you comfortable by re-electing an member of parliament who has done nothing? Are you comfortable in re-electing somebody who has let you down? If you're comfortable with it, so be it. But as for me and my house, we want change. Change for the better and change for the Kenyan people. And if a regime is not serving the interests of the Kenyan people, that regime should be shown the door as early as yesterday. We cannot continue tolerating and explaining madness, foolishness, and incompetence. That is unforgivable. And so all this changing of goalposts, running around, now it was bottom up, now it is Singapore, and then from Singapore is hamna akili, hamna agenda, hamna mipango, na hiyo ujinga yote ikiwekwa pamoja itupiliwe mbali. Tunahitaji Kenya that is constitutional, Kenya that is focused in ensuring that no one child of Kenya misses education. No child of Kenya misses healthcare. No elderly person misses to be given healthcare. And the security matters. We don't even have the need. That's why I don't support the issue of manifesto or holding the Ruto administration or any other administration on the promises they made. That's not what those promises don't matter, and they are not even supported by the constitution. What we need is to make every regime to work according to the constitution. Whatever we are entitled to as Kenyans by the constitution, that's what every president, every governor, every senator, every member of parliament should ensure that it's being implemented. And so this issue of manifesto, you promised us, it's a diversionary tactic to make us begin to accommodate mediocrity. We want the lifestyle that the Constitution gives us. We want the healthcare the Constitution gives us. We want quality education that the Constitution gives us. We cannot make the Constitution secondary to a manifesto that was cooked in some house somewhere over a table where they were discussing politics. We must make the Constitution primary and the primary law as well as the mother of everything that is that is given or established for every life in this country. And so allowing the current regime to do what they wish to do because they said they will do, it's a sure way of throwing away what we indeed are supposed to be embracing by reason of the constitution. And so what we need to use to take Ruto to court, or take the member of parliament to court, or take the member of county assembly to court, the governor, the senator, and every other person to court, is the violation of the constitution. And that violation of the constitution begins by neglecting education while running around and distributing money to women groups, children, young youth groups, and the other thing. You have neglected the education of the Kenyan children. And then, of course, healthcare. Okay, you are talking about SHA, but the SHA has all manner of things. There's a headline in one newspaper that came out today, and it's saying how many billions that have been looted in the SHA system. Now, what is heartbreaking about this is that the reason why they replaced NHF with SHA, based on what Ruto said, is because there was looting in NHF. So he says he brought SHA, which is going to be foolproof to ensure that nobody can loot the money. But what has happened? The taps have been opened. Fictitious hospitals are being rewarded when they have not served one patient. Something is wrong with this country. And we as Kenyans need to awake to that reality and do the right thing. Tuache kucheza. Inji tutaizika kama hatutaki kuirekebisha. Kuna msemo unasema ukicha mwana kulia, mwisho utalia wewe. Kama hatutapevuka na kukutuka na kusimama kwenye zamu, kusisitiza kwamba inji haiwezi kuongozwa na watu wawili watatu vile wanavyopenda. Inji inapaswa kuongozwa kikatiba. And so atudai masomo kwa sababu Ruto alipromise masomo. Atudai healthcare kwa sababu Ruto alipromise healthcare. Tunadai haya mambo yote kwa sababu katiba inasema kila serikali isimamie masomo ya wanafunzi, matibabu ya Wakenya, chakula cha Wakenya, usalama wa Wakenya. Hiyo ndio contract yetu na serikali yoyote ama uongozi wowote. So kama hawatekelezi hayo majukumu, hawafai kuitwa serikali na hawafai kuwa katika hayo madaraka. Hapo ndipo mimi nimesimamia miaka hii yote na singatuki. Na tafuta rais yule ambaye atasimama aseme katiba inasema mwanafunzi wa Kenya asikose masomo. Kwa hivyo minister wa education, kuwe na shule ambazo zitaweza kufanya nini? Kuelimisha kila mtoto wa Kenya. Katiba imekataa mtoto wa Kenya akose masomo. Hapo ndipo nitachukua serious yale mambo yanafanya, lakini ati tunafanya manifesto, tuliwa promise bottom up, now we are promising you Singapore. Those are nonsense. They should be kicked out of the way. We need to get what the constitution guarantees us, and that's something that we can prosecute somebody for. For example, we should come up with a petition to petition the Minister for Education, William Ruto, and every other person for KCSE results. KCSE results were dismally a failure. That of all the people that sat for exam, only less than 30% qualified for university. That's a flop. We should have at least 50% so that we have university space problem. Not that less than 30% are the ones that are qualified. And then we are clapping, jumping around that we are having education. Which education is this that has 70% of people failing to meet the least standard that is set there for people to go to university? I just came to remind you. To watch ujinga. Let's begin to see these things for what they are. We celebrate mediocrity. We reward non-performance. We clap for incompetence. And then turn around and say our country is bad. It will be bad until we do the right thing. And the right thing is hold to account the people that are given responsibility. Fire those that must not, those that are not doing what they are supposed to do. A minister for health should have been fired long time ago. Yes. When he's questioned how the hospital in Mandera is receiving more remuneration from SHA than the National Referral Hospital in Nairobi. And then he begins to talk about the Kikuyus and Somalis. And then you tell us that you retain him in office to bring what? The war between Kikuyus and the Somalis. Is that Ministry of Health? Well, I still insist we must wake up as Kenyans, reject these fake leaders, and do the right thing in ensuring that the second crop of leaders that are coming into office in 2027 are not a bunch of these useless people who wants to waste the country, waste the resources of this country, waste the livelihood of the future of this country by messing up education. And on that note, I begin to close. And I just came in for 1 hour. We had some hiccups to start with, but we will pick up this conversation. We are not ending it here. It has just started. We'll pick this, we'll hit it during the day and night at the same time. We cannot have a country where people are joking, especially with the future. This is bad news. Well, let's just look at this. This is sad, sad, sad indeed.
Okay, this is Gezallo Primary and Junior School. I think I've stayed here for almost 3 years, and since I came, I saw something very, very, very much disappointing. You can see where our children are learning, these young children. This is where the parents started the school. Grade 1, 2, 3, and 4 are learning underneath this shed. Very pathetic. And I have also talked to the MP. I want to send this message to the MP, and up to now, but their promise was by September, they say they are going to provide us 2 classrooms, and up to now, we have not received anything. So this school is lacking a lot of things, especially we don't have classes. Next year, inshallah, we are going to have maybe new grade 1. We have no class for that. We have also grade 9. Okay, this is
So you tell me, is that an institution of learning? That's one school in Northeastern, made of grass, half roof, and part of the class is under the tree. And the member of parliament stays in Nairobi. Our member of parliament, that's one of the things that make me support Gachagua in his commendation. We have this state of school in Northeastern, and that person is building a 16-story building in South B. Okay? For what? I mean, hata kama unataka kuishi Nairobi, do you need 16 floors? Why can't we just leave our size part time? Our size means that ukiishi Nairobi, unahitaji plot Nairobi, nua plot, jenga nyumba mahala ambapo utaishi. Lakini hela zingine tumia improve lifestyle ya watu wa kwenu. So shule hii ya nyasi na mabati nusu na chini ya mti, hao watoto wanafanya mtihani huo mmoja na wale wa Nairobi, wale wanasomea kwa air conditioned building and things like that. That's what I'm saying. We are jokers. Then the school made an appeal to the member of parliament. And according to that guy there, he says that the member of parliament says he will come and do 2 classes. The 2 classes, are they this grass version or which? God have mercy on me. Labda mimi sielewi kwa sababu hiyo shule iko mahali iko na wanafunzi tayari grade 1 mpaka grade 9. Mpaka principal hapa anasema hata hawana class ya grade 1. Na hizi class anaita class is makeshift, something small, a cube made of grass, walls of grass and iron sheets. No. That's a very simple work. You won't even need 500,000. Yes, just to make a good, decent classroom that is tempered, just using rods and iron sheets, and probably it's because of the higher temperature. Let the roof go up, and then of course secure the place because of the heat. You can definitely put up those 10 classes in one afternoon. And it won't take more than 500,000. So 100 million you're given as CDF. You can just divide 1 million per school and put up decent structures in the meantime. Then eventually convert those temporary structures into permanent structures as resources come. And so this is part of what I'm looking at, and clearly come to conclusion that we are not serious about the future of this country, and we are not serious about education in this country. No matter how much we pretend and claim that we are doing anything, especially the Ruto administration is not serious about education. The joking, they want to throw around figures as they preside over government revenue wastage. That should not be allowed. And so let's engage, let's ensure that we do the right thing. Let's speak one to another. And then, of course, I'm touched by that story. I think we need to do something about that. We cannot have a school like this one, no, in existence in the current Kenya, and the member of parliament is there, is aware of the situation of the school. Apana. I remember after high school, I did some work like untrained teacher, and our school was made of mud somewhere in Madare. And when I got involved in the school, I discovered that the school teaches but doesn't do examination for the kids. So at the moment I was taken in as an untrained teacher, my number one responsibility, I said, no, there's no way we can teach the children and not give them examination. So the first thing is there must be exam, and only those who pass the exam go to the next class. So by the time I was leaving the school to go and train, not to train as a teacher, I had established an examination system where every class was being tested and the passing of the exam was clear. And so this aspect of people taking education as if is a joke, especially when you have gone to school and most of those governors, members of parliament and all that, they used bursary, not even bursary, they used what is called help, okay? They went to school using government resources. And now they are regarding education as if it's an option and it's something to neglect. Too bad for our country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we must call it a day. Thank you so much for choosing to be part of this great conversation. This is called Jadalo Primary School in Northeastern.
Okay, this is Jadalo Primary and Junior School. I think I've stayed here for almost 3 years, and since I came, I saw something very, very, very much disappointing. You can see where our children are learning, these young children. This is where the parents started the school. Grade 1, 2, 3, and 4 are learning underneath this shed. Very pathetic. And I have also talked to the MP.
Sorry, in conclusion, I want us to get the story of Winnie as the Rangos in ODM Rage. She had a long interview today with Yvonne. You can catch up with that in part of our broadcast. That's part of the reason why we delayed to start the show. But all in all, Winnie is proving to be a hard nut to crack in terms of being intimidated or being silenced. And she's proving to be a promising leader for this great country. And we should wish her well, and of course, support her in the best way possible. But from the look of things, the political class, the ones Willis referred to as career politicians, need to watch out for these young Turks, Sifuna Hamisi, of course, Winnie, Babo Wino, Didi Nyoro, the young Turks who are determined like this one, I think needs to be not just, watched, but they need to be facilitated so that they can help rescue this country. I think for us to rescue this country, we must go back to that draining the swamp. And that draining the swamp conversation must go on. No more pretending and no more explaining the mediocrity that we have allowed in the helm of leadership. So let's
Odinga, daughter of former opposition leader Raila Odinga, into active grassroots politics, is sending shockwaves through the Orange Democratic Movement. Now, Winnie is now openly challenging the party's old guard, including her uncle Oburu Oginga, as she pushes for generational change and questions ODM's cooperation with President William Ruto's administration. Political analysts say she is carving out an independent path, positioning herself as a bold heir to her father's political legacy. Apollo Kamau reports.
31 years after the botched takeover of Fort Kenya at Thika Stadium in 1995, history appears to be repeating itself in the house of Jaramogi. 35-year-old Winnie Odinga is now playing a familiar script leading a youthful push within ODM aimed at wresting party leadership from her uncle Oburu Oginga. The move mirrors the fierce 1994 power struggle in which Raila Odinga sought to inherit Ford Kenya, the party founded by his late father Jaramogi Odinga.
Tukiuliza maswali wanasema tutoke kwenye chama. Tukitoka watabaki na nani kwenye chama? Chama ni ya wananchi.
Just like her father Raila, who carved out his political path after Jaramogi's death in January 1994, Winnie, following Odinga's death in October 2025, has emerged bold, combative, and assertive. She has openly questioned Oburu and the ODM top command, challenging their capacity to lead the party and their engagement with President William Ruto's UDA party.
We are looking and we are wondering, those that are taking it upon themselves to manage it now, are they capable of managing that relationship?
Political analysts say Winnie's defiance, including holding a separate rally in her father's Kibra stronghold a week ago after Oburu, signals a calculated move to position herself as heir to Odinga's political legacy.
So she wants to portray herself as somebody who is independent, who is thinking, and wants to be the heir to the Raila legacy.
Her return to active local politics, widely seen as a continuation of Odinga's defiant spirit, has jolted ODM leaders and has settled the wider Jaramogi family, prompting the Kawur sub-clan to offer mediation between uncle and niece. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Daughter of former opposition leader Raila Odinga.
Okay, hapo ndipo mambo yanaendelea kutokota katika chungwa, na tunaamini kwamba mbivu na mbichi inakwenda kujulikana hivi karibuni. Kwa vyovyote vile tunaomba kwamba nchi hii ipone kwa uongozi ambao utakuwa wa kujali maslahi ya wengi wa Wakenya na kuhakikisha kwamba msingi ambao tumeweka wa katiba mpya hautaharibiwa na wale ambao hawajali katiba, wanajali matumbo yao na yale ambayo wangependa kutekeleza. Umemsikiliza William Ruto juzi akisema kwamba anataka kubadilisha nchi hii, na anaona kwamba nchi nyingi ambazo zimekuwa na mabadiliko, njia moja ilikuwa udikteta. So anasema, na katika udikteta ni kwamba kiongozi akishasema njia ni hii, hakuna wa kumpinga. Na tukiangalia hilo kwa ndani, tunaona kwamba hiyo ndio shauku ya moyo wa William Ruto, awe yule kiongozi ambaye atasema njia ni hii na asipate mtu wa kumpinga. Hapo ndipo atajisikia kwamba anatawala. No, hiyo kama ndiyo njia ambayo anategemea kutekeleza yale ambayo anakusudia kuyatekeleza, maybe baada ya uchaguzi, basi nchi hii itakwenda kutokomea kama vile Uganda, kama vile Tanzania, majirani wetu ambao wameonyesha mfano ambao haufai katika masuala ya demokrasia na uhuru wa wengi wa wananchi. Uhuru wa wengi wa wananchi unapaswa kulindwa na nchi isiwachwe mikononi mwa viongozi bila wananchi kuhusishwa. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu rasilimali za nchi nzima ni za wananchi, si za viongozi. So hao viongozi wa kujisikia kwamba hao ndio mwanzo tena mwisho, hao wasiulizwe maswali, hao wasiambiwe lolote, basi huyo ashatoa makucha yake, ashawaonyesha kwamba mkimpatia nafasi tena ataokojolea kichuani. Kubalini at your own risk. Sisemi tena. Naomba tutamatishie hapo. Nawashukuru wote ambao mmekuwa sehemu ya kipindi hiki, TikTok, Facebook na YouTube. Naomba tena tafadhali, kama uja subscribe, kama uja like video. Kulikuwa tunapiga kura pale kama watu 56% wa wabunge hawarudi katika bunge, and it's all 100% wanasema yes, hakuna kurudi. So inaonekana wengi wa Wakenya wameamua kwamba hakuna kurudi kwa wabunge katika bunge kwa kutowajibika wakati walihesabiwa ama walitegemewa kusimama na kutetea haki ya wengi wa Wakenya. Ni washukuru tena kwa kuwa sapoti kubwa ya kipindi hiki na vipindi vingi tu ambavyo tunaleta kwenu kama Sound Candy Talk. I look forward to meeting you again in the next program. Please keep it at Sound Candy Talk and keep the conversation going even in your sphere of influence. Get people to register as voters and ensure that they come out and vote. And not only vote, but vote for the right administration so that we can have a better Kenya. God bless you. Let's meet when we can.